What's up, guys? It's Rick Ginn. You're on the Rick Ginn YouTube channel. And today we're talking about the wholesaling playbook. And one thing I've learned about wholesaling is even though the fundamentals always stay the same, the playbook changes. So think of your favorite team. I don't care what sport it is. After a while, people start to figure out what you're doing. And what I want to do today is share with what works in today's market, into 2025, wrapping it up, and especially going into 2026. And what better from a guy who's been wholesaling approaching 24 years. So I want to show you particularly what I've seen, particularly in 2025, and what we're instituting in our business. And you can actually just copy the playbook. So just like when you join a team, they give you a playbook. I don't care if you've never done a deal, you're doing this for free, you're spending some money. I got something for everybody on this live stream. So do me a favor, use the comments, introduce yourself, make a friend. We only talk about wholesaling here. I know it's weird. Wholesalers talking about wholesaling. I owe everything I have to wholesaling, and I will fight till the end to make sure wholesaling is always out there, that you can get the information regardless of your income, age, anything like that. And that's what we do. So I never forget the day I started wholesaling. It changed my life. And my goal is to change your life. So if you want to do it, do me a favor, use the comments, introduce yourself, make a friend. I got to tell you, man, this online thing is great. So we just got back from Orlando, did a live event, and I had a lot of fun meeting up with people. Basically spent 2 whole days just deep diving to everyone's business, and walked out with plans, marketing plans, everything like that. And that was pretty cool. So if you guys want to do stuff like that, we'll talk about ways you can do it, but I'm here to help everybody. All right. And if you're watching this, you go, Rick, I've never done a deal. Rick, I'm in a hole. Let's get to work. Let's just stop talking about it and start doing it. And that's the main thing. So one thing I want you guys to understand, one of the biggest challenges in wholesale, the high failure rate. Honestly, I've put a lot of it on the content and the coaching guru stuff out there. Now, that doesn't mean everybody who coaches is bad, but they get stuck marketing, and the marketing gets extreme, and it gets to the point like, oh my God, this person's program is going to change my life. A lot of times you guys think that is the cure. And I'm here to tell you, that's fine. Hold your coach accountable, but what about you? And so what I want to do is first start out with our headset, what you got to do to be right in wholesaling, because honestly, if you don't do this part, my playbook's not even going to work. So I want you to think about a team. If I have a football team with 11 players on each side of the ball, we are only as strong as our weakest player. So we all have to work together, and everyone has a job to do. The crazy part about wholesaling, for the most part, it's only you when you start out. And that's honestly the biggest risk when you start out wholesaling, because what if you decide not to do one of the jobs like marketing, and you go, well, I'll just do PPL because I don't have time for it. That team's not going to last very long. You might win a few games, you might get a few deals, but you're not going to last. So I want you to understand, look at your wholesaling as like you have 7 different team members, and we're going to kind of go through each one, and you got to get everyone to do the same job. Remember, Johnny's not feeling good today. Susie's got the sniffles. And everyone's like, the problem is when you show up to a game called wholesaling, you have to do all these jobs. You have to wear all these hats. And so we're so used to being on a team. If you worked in corporate America, or you've been on a sports team, what's the coach's job? Everybody's got to do their job. If that guard does not block, the running back's not going to have a great game. If you don't block for the quarterback, he can't get the passes down the field. Why is wholesaling going to be any different? And that's what I want to emphasize to you and make it super, super important. So let's work through it. So the first thing is, I'm going to go through the playbook. I have a deep, deep playbook. I don't care if you've done 3,000 deals or you haven't done one deal. I'll show you the exact playbook. What is working right now? Because that's the most important part. Now, first and foremost, we have to understand, you have to understand the fundamentals of wholesaling. And I would be crazy not to mention, first, start with the fundamentals, freewholesaling.com. Understand what we're doing. Now, keep in mind, theory ain't going to make you a dang dime. And this, in my opinion, is the biggest divide in all of wholesaling. We talk about theory. We just talk, we test. We ask 19 people, do you think it's going to work? And I'm telling you, at the end of the day, you're going to have to put on blinders and just go forward. I remember the day I started out wholesaling, I was a bit freaked out like a lot of you are. And on top of it, I had ADHD. I just didn't know it. I just thought I was very different than everybody else. So it was particularly challenging for me. And I know a lot of you feel that way. And I'm here to tell you, my ADHD is my superpower. It creates some problems for me, but it creates a lot of wonderful things in my life. So when it comes to ADHD, my wholesaling, it was my superpower. I just had to learn how to navigate and set boundaries for it. And if you can stay within the rules, especially if you have ADHD, you can do anything you want because I go deep with people. I'm accused of going way too deep with people. It's just what I do best. I'm an empath. It's what I do. I don't like confrontation anymore. You do. But there's some things we have to do and get through in wholesaling, and we're going to walk through it. So start out, just go over to freewholesaling.com and get started. That's rule number one. And honestly, that is, if you have some experience, I'd still go back through it because I do so many refreshers on the fundamentals. I find that just not a lot of people talk about the fundamentals of wholesaling. We talk about like the high level stuff, and we got to be like down here. We have to understand how to do this. So we have to figure out how to do that. So free wholesaling is the way you want to get started. So let's walk through the mindset real quick. I'm actually going to go through this and then we're going to dive into specifics. If we got to take a little bit longer today, I'm going to just take a little bit longer because I feel this live stream is really important because I got to connect with someone. So as I said, the first thing, what do we do right now, right? Freewholesaling.com. If you're lost, if you just got back into the business, go back and learn the fundamentals. If you joined my football team and took a year or two off, I would run you through the fundamentals. I would put you on a blocking sled, as we call it. I would teach you how to tackle. I would get your cardio in shape, and I would get you all ready to go. Now, let's be brutally honest. If you don't have any money, this is where you have to go. It's the only place you can go. And remember, me and Zach are the only ones that will help you out for free. Now, people give snippets, and I'm here to tell you, I do have paid programs, but honestly, I give you everything you need in freewholesaling.com. If you can be a self-starter, like the thousands of people that have done it before, you can do it. Is it going to be super easy? No. So we have to get our mind right before we do it, and we have to understand. So I'm going to walk through just the basic mechanics before we do it, but let's talk about our mindset first and foremost. Let's be brutally honest here. I'm going to put up a statement. If you will adhere to the statement I'm about to put on the screen, I can not only change your life in wholesaling, I can change it in anything else you do. Because in my opinion, this is the number one problem with people in the entire world, particularly in the United States. Now, this is a bold comment to say, but it is the absolute truth. So I want to show you right now. This is it. You ready? Most of you run your businesses based on how you feel in the moment. And I'm telling you, in my opinion, this is one of the number one reasons that takes out most wholesalers. You're so emotional. You react so violently to what people tell you, and you get so butthurt with disappointment, you can't handle wholesaling. And the fact is, it's not that you're not right for wholesaling. You just have your own mindset and you're just stuck in that. And what do I mean by that? Here's one thing if you can do. If you could fix, so if you're an emotional responder, number one, I always tell you first identify, go, how do I identify this, Rick? If it is a constant pattern, you're like, damn, I threw that out without any thought and I'm really going to pay the consequence now. You're going to get rejected significantly in wholesaling. That's really the idea. And like, think about this. Who else would run the rejection? You got to be a little bit almost crazy to do this business, but you want something different in your life. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take facts over feelings. Make this your mantra. Put it on your headboard. Put it on your bathroom mirror. I'm telling you, facts over feelings. Because if you do feelings over facts, which is 9 out of 10 wholesalers, listen to me, 9 out of 10 wholesalers operate and do it the opposite, feelings over facts. And if you do it, it just means you're going to try to satisfy your ego in the short term to make you feel important and relevant. It's also going to create an endless train of excuses to make yourself feel good. It's like your self-soothing part. And I'm telling you, if you do not fix this, don't even go forward anymore. Does everybody understand it? I'm telling you right now. So when we talk about facts over feelings, it means when you make a decision in wholesaling, you have to only look at the facts, the data. Data over drama. That's not my saying. That's somebody else's. I'll give them full credit for it. Data over drama. I go with facts over feelings. Period. Now, if you do feelings over facts, you're going to constantly fix the short-term dopamine rush. Let me give you an example. Anybody know what I mean? Someone goes, "Oh my God, I just got a contract signed. I'm so excited." Okay, tell me a little bit about it. Well, I got it. I go, "How many no's did you get to get your first yes?" Oh, no. I got a yes on the first one, Rick. I'm a superstar. Okay. What happens there? Guys, this is what's happening when you do that. That wholesaler is navigating from their ego. And honestly, I don't have an answer why God gave us an ego. Actually, it really messes up most human beings. Your ego is basically like the acronym for is edging God out. There's a hint right there. It is your ability to self-serve you, to make you feel justified, right, important, relevant, and good in the moment. But it will screw you in the long run every time. You see, ego is all about the moment. It is never anything about anything else. And so if you know that, you have to resist the temptation to fulfill your ego. Most of the social media you'll see in wholesaling is 95% ego driven. I can just tell by the post. It's super easy. Guys, let me know what you think about ego, but like it's crazy. And you know what? It is the hardest thing to put in check. It took me years to do this. So, Rick, how do I know if I have a problem with my ego? If you constantly react to what people tell you, you are basically putting all your cards out on a sleeve and you're telling everybody how you feel. A calculated businessman or woman will not instantly react. They'll let it go by, let it pass like a cloud, do a fact check and say, what do I want to respond to move the needle for my business? So you have to decide when you react to people, do I want to respond with my ego or my business? It's completely up to you. Now, listen, I'm talking particularly about wholesaling. In fact, I could tell you about any business. More people want to do, most people just want to impress upon you and just pump them up, make them feel good with a bunch of false facts. And you guys know this. You see it all the time. It's posted. It just drives me crazy. And I can't stand it. Like, I can tell just by the post when people, I've been doing this so long and it's just the truth. So what do we have to do? You're going to have to kill your ego. If you don't kill your ego, it's going to kill you. Everybody hear me? If you don't kill your ego, it's going to kill you. My ego got me in trouble when I first wholesaled. People would reverse engineer my market. That's why I teach you how to do that. And I would show people my complete cards and I can't do it. And that is the challenge that I have to understand when doing wholesaling. So guys, if you can't lose your ego, it's going to screw you up really bad. Now, here's the crazy part. I talk about facts over feelings, losing your ego. This is some big boy check stuff because everybody says they do it. I've never met anybody in wholesaling says, Rick, I got that all covered. Okay. So now I've got to hear what you say, but more importantly, I'm going to watch what you do. Now, just like everybody wants to sell their house, everybody, you need to find the people that need to sell the house. And then you can translate this is the people that want to check their ego and the people that make it a must to check their ego. Now, I'm going to warn you, you are not going to do it in a day. You're not even going to do it in a week, and you're not going to do it in a month. On average, it's going to take you 3 to 6 months if you work at it every day. It's like a muscle. If you don't practice, it will take you over. And by the way, your ego, here's the other problem with it. It's programmed in your subconscious mind, and it overrides when you get stressed and freaked out. And your ego tries to take over to protect you. And that protecting in the short term is what will kill you in the long term. So you've got to understand your ego is wired in your subconscious mind, and it is automatically programmed based on your past experiences. That's why you guys use it like a shield. And you have to so the best way to kill your ego is, number one, recognize it and then practice killing it. And you have to do it. Now, if you can get over facts over feeling, kill your ego, here's what you have to understand. Most wholesalers don't understand this. Listen to me carefully on this one. You ready? You're going to have to go through chaos before you get to the calm in wholesaling. And the problem is, most of you guys are sold programs. You are hyped up the marketing. I can get you the calm without the chaos. I have never, ever, listen, repeat to me, almost 24 years in the business, I have never met a wholesaler that did not go through chaos. Now, if you do it correctly, I call it controlled chaos, meaning you put facts before feelings. But if you do it the other way, it's actually out of control chaos, and it drives most people out of this business. Show me what just put in the comments if you're in it. The easiest thing to do is just admit where you are so you can address it and fix it. Remember, if I'm overweight and I refuse to get on a scale and tell myself I'm overweight, you're just telling yourself, I am not going to fix the problem. I'm just going to mask it forever. This is why people get so far overweight, because it just hurts. And they take their feelings over facts. And here's the fact, and I'm not picking on anyone here, dude. Trust me. I've got my own, I'm constantly fighting weight just like everybody else. We're all in the same fight. But when I get on a scale, what do? I go, hey, listen, I know I got to address this. I have to measure it. Then I have to take personal accountability, and then I have to institute a plan to fix it. What happens if you don't get on the scale for 3 or 4 years? I already know the outcome. You're not getting on the scale because you already know you haven't done the actions to do it. So why would your wholesaling be any different? So, and here's the reality. If I'm going to go on some sort of program to fix my health, weight, whatever it is, I'm going to have to go through chaos before I get to the calm. What do you mean? I'm going to have to break some very bad habits I have, maybe eating late at night, eating lots of sugar and stuff like that. I have to make the change. And here's the crazy part. God's created that program. When you want to make changes in yourself, your body, whatever it is, you have to do it over time. Because if we could all fix it in a week, we would all do it. If we could fix it with a pill, we'd do it. You'll know how that works out. So the reality is, you have to find a way to fix this, and you have to acknowledge it. So whenever we're going to go through a massive change, say you came from the corporate world just like I did. I can't stand it. My boss is an ass. I'm tired of this. I have no financial freedom. All I do is work, and I'm not getting anywhere. I've been with this company 10 plus years. That was my speech. Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I had no idea how much chaos I was going to go through, but I did accept I was going to go through a major change in my life. The problem is, when it gets chaotic, contracts break, people tell you to screw off. You get massive amounts of rejections. You feel lost. Contracts aren't working out. That's what chaos is. Does everybody understand that? And you have to survive, because in the chaos is where your new personality of wholesaling will be revealed. Let me repeat, I have never, ever seen a wholesaler survive without going through chaos, because chaos is let's take a mountain. A beautiful, majestic mountain is formed under chaos. Wind, snow, rain, sleet. It forges the mountain. It makes it hard as a rock. You are no different. But here's the problem, guys. You're being sold by everyone. Hey, I have a program so you don't have to do wholesalers. You can just pay full value for the house. It's really easy. Now, don't get me wrong. You can do creative financing. Most beginners in creative financing make $0 in the beginning. I love creative financing in the right hands. It's extremely powerful. And if you can do referrals for creative financing and help a buyer like me buy great deals, you can make finder's fee. But here's the reality. A full-time creative finance person that's brand new, that's trying to avoid wholesaling, I already know what your given path is. How are you going to generate cash? Rick, I don't have a job. Rick, I don't do wholesale and create assignment fees. And so I don't get a big chunk of money up front. So what are you going to do? My creative financing on average takes 3 to 5 years to harvest a profit. Why? I've been doing this a long time. Can I make deals up front? You can, but you got to follow the rules. And I don't teach strategies that I feel are irresponsible or going to break like any type of law. I'm not a big fan of assigning sub twos. I think it's completely reckless. And I see disasters all over Florida. Why? Because they always wind up on my desk. And once I hear somebody's upset, I don't want anything to do with it because I don't want to take the fall for the person that derived that deal. And what happens is they sold it to someone, made 15 grand. And I'm not knocking that. That's awesome. But they didn't put any protections in place to make sure that that loan got paid. And then that got sold again. And then as it moves down the line, there's no accountability and people just don't care. And we have a responsibility to homeowners, especially that are in duress, that can't make their mortgage payments. And for that reason, I don't believe just jumping into creative financing to avoid the pitfalls of wholesaling. I don't think it forges you. I think you think it's a shortcut, and all shortcuts have an end. I promise you. And I don't want that to happen to you. So we have to accept we are going to go through massive chaos when we get into this. I believe most wholesalers think it's going to be a piece of cake when they start. They thought it was super easy. Rick, I'm a super slick salesman. I've already told you sales in wholesaling doesn't really translate because we are not selling things people want. We are providing a solution to a problem, something that they need to solve. Huge difference. Salesman, I want a Lamborghini. Go get me the best dressed looking salesperson that can have the slickest talk. And they're going to what? Go after my ego. Remember we talked about that? And they want to satisfy me right there. Remember, you can't buy happiness, but I will tell you, I sure to hell have tried it. And it feels good for the short term, but it's usually a bad long-term decision unless you can afford it. When I need to get something done, I need an education and I need someone I can trust that will solve my problem. And that's what we do. So if we understand that, let's move forward here. Now, here's the next one. The number one problem. I'm going to check the comments right now and see if I see it. So, you guys are pretty good with me. The biggest problem we have now, you guys are good. It's when I get on the other channel, it's not so good. The biggest problem we say is the amount of excuses I hear from people in wholesaling. It's like a plague. So once I see in the comments goes, my market's saturated. I don't know what I'm doing. I've had 3 contracts fail. What do I do? Once again, until you can get out of your ego and get out of the way and simply do this. Understand this statement because this is the truest thing I've ever. This is one thing in 55 years on this planet I understand. Nobody, and let me repeat, absolutely nobody cares about your excuses except you. In fact, you numb people out. And the more excuses you tell people, the more you broadcast to the world, I am not accountable. Everybody else is wrong. It's never me. Now, there are times where there is a logical excuse, but I find the people that do the best in wholesaling, they just stop their excuse train. You see, all the time you spend making an excuse you could have been focusing on getting a solution and taking action. But what are excuses? They make you feel good. They fulfill your ego. They give you a short-term dopamine rush, and you wind up right back in this circle of going nowhere. Don't believe me? Go on anyone's live stream, go on anyone's YouTube channel, and look at the chronic complainers. People will whine and cry if Tony Robbins gives away a free seminar. And now what do they say? It's too long. I can't write all this down. It's too much. I could never do that. That will never work for me. It's endless excuses. And I give everybody one excuse. By the second one, I check you. And by the third one, I tell you you're being a wimp, Why don't you learn another way to do it? You see, in life, I find either people make excuses or they get stuff done. You can't do both. I promise you. I've never met anybody that made a ton of money that makes excuses all day. Now, they'll go over objections, tell you what they've tried, and ask for feedback from qualified people that can help them overcome it. That's not an excuse. That's someone seeking a solution. And the amount of energy that's spent on excuses, let me give an example today. I was in wholesaling houses for real. True story. This is crazy. Ready? And I was looking at it's like, I mean, crazy comments like, I got banned. I got banned from wholesaling houses for real. I don't even know what I did. Do you know I've heard that excuse probably 30,000 times? Here's the excuse. You know exactly what you did. You broke the rules and a moderator checked and kicked you out. Because number one, it's a free group. You're beyond entitled at this point, and you don't understand how wholesaling works. You see, for 5 years, me and Zach have provided nothing but free content all the way A to Z. And I'm still going to have people complain and somebody put on there, all they want to do is make a ton. All they care about is the money. Really? Then why do I even bother with freewholesaling.com? You see, someone makes excuse inside of freewholesaling.com. So if you'll make an excuse when I give you a $10,000 course for free, what are you going to do when you actually start spending money on this? You don't even have a shot. I love people that win through freewholesaling.com. You know why? Because they show me they can survive anything. It's not easy. I'm not first to admit it, but it's all there. I can't get most people just to go through all the videos and the training. It's just the God knows the truth. So if you're going to make excuses at freewholesaling.com, I already know you're doomed. I'm sorry. It's the truth. We have to lose these excuses, guys. We're never going to get there. Don't worry. I'm getting into the game plan on the book. I promise you, on the playbook here. So listen, here's what I want you to do. When you make an excuse, go, crap, I just made an excuse. Like you don't even know you do it. Why? Because it's tied to your ego, and your ego is there to defend you, to make you feel right, to give you that dopamine hit. Guys, your entire phone is driven on engaging your ego to defend yourself. Let me ask you this. Here's another person. Here's another pattern. If you constantly make excuses, you're the same person that bitches, whines, and moans on comments on social media. Nobody cares about your comments for the most part. People will look at constructive comments that actually make sense and help people. But if you go, I can't do this, it's too hard, PPL is too expensive, I could never do what Rick and Zach does. Okay, you're right. So if you go online and if you have a Yelp account, let me give you an example. If you have a Yelp account, you don't understand how life works. I went to a restaurant. I had to wait 30 minutes longer than I normally do for a meal. And the waitress she wasn't very nice to me. And I'm never going to go there. I'm going to tell everyone how bad it is. And I gave her like a 5% tip. You don't understand how life works. You see, you basically work for Yelp when doing that. You give them traction, you make it work. And I cannot stand it anymore. And so I've seen people with like Yelps, they've made 36 posts. I'm like, if you took that same energy and put it towards wholesaling, you could actually do some damage. But I put it on Yelp. I work for free. Why? Because I want to justify my ego that the decision I made is right. And I want instant feedback and dopamine. It makes me sick. So just do this, guys. Just trade your excuses with action. Number one, if you don't know if you make excuses, just go ask your family. They're the first one that's going to tell you the truth, and it's going to hurt. Or you can ask me. You can ask Zach. The reality is the more excuses I see, you want to know why I don't want to take comments from people make excuses? Because if I pulled you on the live and I made you accountable, you would freak out. You would be very upset because most people make excuses, cannot handle being confronted on their own issues. You ever had that parent or that family member that just constantly tells you what you do wrong, but the minute you reach out to them on like the stuff they've attacked you on, they don't want any part of it. You see, it's what's good for the goose ain't good for the gander when they do that. So trade your excuses with action. And guys, just recognize it. I'm not calling you out here, but like I'll be on a live stream tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern, by the way, on the Flip with Rick channel. I promise you, you will see a sea of excuses on there. Now, for the most part, you guys are really positive. I'm not, and my channel, you guys are trained and conditioned with the mind, but I'm here to tell you, at the end of the day, you are the driver of your success. And if you spend all your time making excuses, you cannot push the needle in wholesaling, and it's never going to work. Okay? This is all you have to do right here. Lose your ego, become accountable. Now we're getting close to the playbook. If you can go in your playbook with this mindset, we can do significant damage. But if you're constantly going to resort back to your ego, make excuses, and never be accountable, I can't help you. You're like a person that's overweight that says, I don't want to get on that scale. It makes me uncomfortable. I didn't ask you if it made you comfortable. Remember, I got to put facts over feelings. We got a weight problem. So first thing we have to measure to have a starting point so we can fix it. I'll do the same thing with you with your marketing plan. Period. Hey, show me exactly what you've done today to push the needle in your business. What do you mean? How many phone calls you made? How many SMSs? How many PPL leads did you pull? How many posts did you make on social media for your business, not personally? Oh, but you had time to go on Yelp. You had time to do this. Every time I go to a live event, people go, Rick, I just don't have time. And all I do is hand me your cell phone, open it up if you have an iPhone, and let's look at your screen time. And the fear that comes over their face when I do it, why? Because I just caught you in a lie. And until you fix that thing where you lie to yourself and you don't want to be accountable, there's nothing I can do for you. Does everybody understand this going forward? I could teach you 1,000 techniques. If you won't change it, then it's crazy. And I want you to understand that. So I'm looking at your comments, put them in there. We'll answer them as we get going. So here's your job. You have to create an upward spiral. You ever notice things tend to happen in like threes? Everyone's like, oh, 3 bad things. You can take the opposite effect and have 3 great things happen in your life. Here's the deal. You have to start it. It's not my job. It's not Zach's job. It's not your parents' job. It's your job. It's not your spouse. It's not your brother and your sister. You have to do it. Guys, your energy level is everything. It's like you have to get fired up to do this job. If you go, hey, listen, do you want to sell your house? I don't want to work with you either. You have to have energy. You have to use your hands. You have to have inflection in your voice. You have to create the spiral. And if you don't have energy and you lack enthusiasm for this business, it's going to show. And you know what? A guy like me is going to beat you every time. I liked Rick. He made me feel good about it. He got to know my family. He was fair. He guided me and educated. His number was low, but I like Rick. I think he's the best solution. That's how I get deals over most people. Now, I don't need you to be all freaked out. You've got to mirror people. You can't run someone over that's super quiet. But guys, take accountability for your own energy level. Sometimes I get on lives. I'm like, I just want to grab you through the screen and just shake you. Like, I don't want to do business with you either. And keep in mind, some of you guys are looking for like, you're looking for partners and stuff like that. Everybody wants someone that picks them up. If someone's a drain on your life, get them out immediately. It never works out. I'm just going to be brutally honest. Give them a chance if they're family, but you can still love them and move on with your life. Why do you think I'm so successful? I know how to separate facts over feelings. I'm always loyal to my family, but I don't take financial advice from my family. Does that make sense? Good. Okay. We're getting somewhere here now. Now, we've already talked. So let's go through the playbook. This is what we're going to do. Run through it. It took 30 minutes. We got mindset all set. I'm telling you guys, lose your freaking ego, lose your excuses, and become accountable. Facts over feelings. If you can do all that stuff I just said there, listen to me, very clear. I've never seen somebody lose in wholesaling. But the people that are losing, soon as I start diving in their program, we struggle getting through the basics. Oh, I don't think I can do that. They go, oh, cold calling is my preferred method. I want to do that. Okay, let's go. Let's just rip through 100 calls right now. Let's go. Pick up the phone right now. Oh God, I don't. Really? Seriously? You just told me cold calling is your preferred method, and I give you 100 leads and you won't rip through them? Maybe I'll do it. Okay. That's what we call an excuse. You don't want to take the action, and I'm going to watch what you do over what you say. We all agree people say the craziest things, but you have to see what they do afterwards to find out what they're actually going to do. And guys, I have endless stories. I've used vendors that I've used with some of my programs. They promise like people the world, and when they don't deliver, they can't understand why I cut them off because it's facts over feelings. I hear you, but I'm watching what you say. I'm watching what you do. I heard what you say, and we have a massive divide. And until you fix this, we're not continuing this conversation. No, come on, Rick, bro. Why you treat me like that? Because I'm not your bro. It's facts over feelings. And at the end of the day, if you don't treat me right, my business right, and my partners, you can't work with me. Why? Because our relationship is not bigger than taking care of people. Because in a business, you solve problems. And the more people you can help solve problems, the more money you make. You are creating problems for me. You're not solving problems for me. So why would I give you the benefit of the doubt? You have to have a massive change. So I have vendors right now that refuse to take accountability, and all they do is give me excuses all day long. I accidentally did that. Really? Accidentally in a business? Well, you've had 4 accidents in the last month. Do you see what I'm saying? I only look at facts over feelings. I'll listen to what you say, but at the end of the day, if I don't know you, or even if I know you really well, like family or business partners, I'm going to watch what you do, and I got to make decisions moving forward. So once again, if you're brand new, freewholesaling.com, especially if you have no money, this is the best place to start. Everybody understand? I can't I can't stress that enough. Now, let's get into this. Let me just clear comments here. So here's a good one. Let's do this. Hold on. Let's pull this off of here. I got a good question here. It's fitting. Jacob wants to know, give us an example of the ego getting in the way, please. Hey, Jacob, how many cold calls did you make this week? I did like 60 or 70. Do you understand right when you use the word like, I already know you're lying to me. And you're doing it to kind of go, hey, I can connect with Rick, and I'm just going to kind of BS him through this because I don't want to get embarrassed on a live stream. I'm not picking on Jacob directly. That's your ego. I'm offering help. I want to help you. But if you can't tell me the truth, how am I supposed to help you going forward? I know the word like means you're either not doing it or you're not even close to doing what you're supposed to be doing. But you want to feel important. So you get that instant dopamine rush and you want to look cool. Guys, stop being the cool guy. Everybody knows the cool kids from high school. They're irrelevant today. Who wants to be cool when they're 16, 17, 18 and a loser in their 20s, 30s, 40s, and the rest of their life? I wasn't the cool kid in high school, but I learned. I learned quickly. And now all those cool kids, I still hang out with some of them. They just can't wrap their head around what I do for a living. I don't understand, Rick. You basically have everything you want. I did it by design. And you know what they all tell me? The same ones go like this. You know what they say to me? It's not fair. Really? I didn't think it was fair when I was 16, when you were like picking on me, making fun of me, called me names. I just decided one day I was going to be successful. I didn't know how to do it, but I was going to do it. And I look back now, the coolest kids that I grew up with in high school, it's unbelievable. So guys, what we did from like 14 to 18, who cares? We all had like traumatic, like high school, like we don't need to go over it. What I'm telling you is being cool is never going to make you any money. Now it'll help you if you check your ego, but I could go on 3 million excuses on your ego. Your ego is always like, oh my God, I've done 500 deals. You did 5. I looked you up. You've only done 5. How did you get 500? You multiplied it by what, 100? And that's, guys, that's the challenge with your ego. It's constantly trying to make you feel important, and I want you to understand that. So, um, let's get back in there. We got to get in the playbook. I'll go through the whole thing even if it takes us longer. Okay. So now, if I'm brand new, as I said, I'm going to go to freewholesaling.com. I'm going to go all the way through it. I'm probably going to watch every video 2 to 3 times. That's what I would do as an ADHD nuts. Remember, your power, if you have distractions like I do, is you can do one thing and you go super deep. Give me 5 things, we got problems. I don't even hide it. Ask Zach how he kind of manages me. I love wholesaling, but like I was my own wholesaler for 7 years because I couldn't figure out how to bring other people in because the way my mind worked. And a lot of people have this problem, not just me. But if I'm going to go in, the first thing I'm going to do is if you come into town, hey, I need a deal right away. Driving for dollars puts eyes on the property. I'm not going to go deep on this. Just look for ugly properties. This is how I found probates, how I found pre-foreclosures, tax delinquency, number one, driving for dollars. And you're going to have to stack up the list. Everybody understand that? The next free one, we're not going to do a lot of the free. We're going to go through it. Government list and reverse driving for dollars. Specifically, tax delinquencies, pre-foreclosures, and code violations. Tax delinquencies, pre-foreclosures, and code violations. You put a sticky note on your door. Got a quick question about the house. This is Rick, your virtual phone number. Why do we do it? It's not because I want to make life difficult for you, but you get a high response rate because if you put a note on my door and you put your phone number, I'm going to call it because I have no idea what the hell's going on and curiosity kills me. So this is a marketing tactic. It works well. Even if you're there, you can either engage them if it's positive. If it's negative, you go, hey, I'm just dropping this off for my boss. It gives you a walk away. Guys, I did good old fashioned door knocking. I don't even really advise it in 2025. Number one, it takes tremendous guts to get past the ring cameras, all the other stuff. And nobody answers the front door anymore. It's kind of ridiculous. The next thing I would do is if I'm going to, you have to understand this is AI guy, it's not optional anymore. You can't, can you run a wholesaling business without AI? You can, but you're going to take 10 times longer than the average wholesaler. Guys, just look what you do with Chat GPT. Go into Chat GPT and put in free wholesaling. Put Flip with Rick. See how many downloads that sucker gets. Remember, when everybody else wanted to charge you for it, means Zach gave it away for free. People tell you they clone themselves as a coach. You've got to be, and then they sell it to you. Take that money, baby. Take it, because ain't much more going to, like, how much more are you going to sell out when you do that? So you can take the transcripts from all my videos and do it yourself. We've already done it for you. It's all in there. And it's like getting an answer from Rick. Here's the difference. I'm not going to charge you for it. I think I don't know. At some point we have to understand that. We can't just charge for everything. So let me see here. Let's keep going. So if AI is in everything, how you pull your list, how you research data, how you form letters now, everything's with AI. And in fact, a big part of our customer service when we get responses from you guys is we run your, like, even X Leads customer service, we run it through AI. You know why? Because I want to know if I'm talking to a person or a computer. Do you know you can copy and paste and find out if someone gave you an AI answer? Now, most of us have like a common sense knowledge, but whenever I get long, drawn out emails, customer service tickets, we stick it through AI to summarize it very short. And then we ask them if it was AI derived. And if you want to talk to me in AI, you're getting AI back. You want to talk to one of my customer service reps, we'll talk to a person. Guys, we use it for everything. It's answering emails. You guys see in Gmail, in Outlook, they'll actually give you a response and they'll tell you, hey, do you want to cater it with AI? So if we're using it all that, why do you think wholesaling is any different? Which leads me to the next thing. The entire premise of X Leads is derived around AI. Your MAO, your LAO, your ARV, the condition of the property, everything you do. So if I'm going to start with one paid way, we're working our way up in the playbook. How you operate without something like X Leads is beyond me. Remember, It includes your skip trace, 25,000 leads, up to 65,000 with our master accounts, X plan. It's absolutely nuts if you think about this. So if we know that's the case, we have to understand moving forward that you have to have an extremely robust CRM. Guys, the days of Podio are just over. Podio was derived for all businesses across the world. XLeads is designed for the wholesaler in mind. Listen, I used Podio for a long time. I'm not knocking it. But for me to integrate AI in the Podio, it's an absolute nightmare. It's expensive, it's very time consuming, and they don't work well together. Podio was originally designed for realtors, not wholesalers, not even close. So the amount of customization you have to do and the limits and the integration, XLeads builds in the AI for you. I'm going somewhere with this because the reality of your business is we need what? We need a tremendous volume of prospects to get leads. Okay. So if we're going to go through thousands and thousands and thousands of prospects, do you really think you can do it with just a run-of-the-mill CRM? You have to have a CRM that has built-in integrations like XLeads. Maybe use something else. I don't care. But make sure it is robust. It can send automatic emails, automatic text. It can have a AI conversation with a text person when you text somebody. The whole process has to be automated because here's the key right here. 70 to 75% of your deals are going to come through the follow-ups in your CRM. So tell me how you're going to operate without something like XLeads. Every technique I'm about to share and go through with you on the numbers, you are leaving tons of money on the table without a robust CRM like XLeads. Yeah, I'm biased. I'm one of the owners of it, but like we built it so we could have a better system than Podio. Google Sheets is great. Once again, if you don't have money, do what you got to do, but get a few deals in your pipeline and get going. I pull my marketing list. I do my skip tracing. I send my e-sign contracts. I can do my dispo in there. I can find cash buyers. I can do anything I want. I can call inside of the platform. I can text inside of the platform. And here's the thing is, say you've got 10,000 leads, which honestly, 10,000 prospects, maybe you've got 500 leads. Do you really think you can manually follow up with those leads? You're kidding yourself. I know this for a fact. You have to have help, guys. The one thing that's changed in 2025 is the speed of the data. And if we know 75% of our eventual wholesale deals are going to come from the follow-up, if you do not have AI integrated in a software like XLeads, you are a dead man walking. It's impossible to keep up with all these. Now, you got to understand, when I started out wholesaling, I did it in my local market. I'd work on 500 prospects and I would work them and wither them down the pipeline. I know I'm old. We did it manually. This is why I'm so good at the fundamentals of wholesaling. But in today's modern wholesaling society, with the amount of quantity of leads you need, you have zero shot without AI integrated in your CRM. It's impossible. I already know this because I'm about to go through numbers for you. I want you to exponentially think about all these numbers after a year. And if you have a follow-up system that will do it for you without you manually doing it like Uncle Rick had to do, which was painful, but we didn't have any other way. I used to have a tickler folder 1 through 31, and I would move leads back, and that's how I did it. I'm archaic, guys. I'm old. If you're operating this way, change. You have to change. XLeads allows you to do all this stuff. And remember, it's one price for all these services. If you guys are using an e-signing service outside of XLeads, I don't even know what you're doing. You're just wasting time and money, in my opinion. You can automate the entire system. So we have to have follow-up because what I'm about to produce for you is we have a tremendous amount of prospects. Prospects turn into leads, leads turn into appointments, appointments turn into contracts. If we don't have a system that's constantly churning the follow-up, you have to tickle people up. If you haven't figured out by now, when you meet someone that needs to sell their house, the timing's not always correct. In fact, 75% of the timing, 75% of the time, the timing isn't on. So how do you fix timing? Follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up. Now, unless you want to drive yourself nuts and get a huge staff and do everything manually, this is where AI has radically changed wholesaling. There is no doubt about it. So if you're not using AI, we need to talk. We really, really need to talk. So let's keep going here. Now, so if I know it, everything I'm about to show you is anyone who shows you you can survive without some sort of CRM to manage these leads. I don't care if you're doing direct mail, you're doing cold calling, you're doing SMS, you're doing PPL, you're doing PPC. All of that is a time investment. It certainly is a financial investment. And if you can't follow up on each one of them, what's the point of doing it? Because what are you going to try to scrape the 25% that'll do a deal with you now? That's fine. I'll just clean up your 75% every time. 75% of your business is going to come from your database, and you have to understand that. And if you don't understand that, you're about to find out because it's very, very painful. Guys, I've had people wait years to do deals with me. Does everybody understand that? Okay, let's keep moving. So if we understand the money is always in the follow-up, let's start by doing this. Let's just do the basics. Right now, if you're not doing 500 sticky notes in a month and you don't have enough deals, you're not doing enough sticky notes. Just go, okay, I admit it, I'm not doing it. If you're doing it in a local market or you have somebody out doing a virtual market, I want you to understand that. Now, guys, here's a big part that changed. I started out doing wholesaling locally because that's all we knew. And honestly, at the time, it was a great fit. There was very, very little information. I had to do a lot of it trial by error. So now there's more information than ever, a lot of bad information, and you're going to have to exchange it with quantity. So here's the big change I've seen in wholesaling. Here's where we're like, now we're going into the meat and potatoes. So I'm not even going to mention local wholesaling. You should always do your local market. It goes without saying. Does everybody understand that? Perfect. Okay. The next one is, we call it micro virtual wholesaling. And what do I mean by that? This is what I always thought. So this is virtual wholesaling, but basically this is when you're working a singular market virtually. So if I go to like Asheville, North Carolina, that is what my micro, and I focus on Asheville. I pull all my leads from there. I have all my cash buyers from there, and my marketing is catered around there with a local phone number. And that's how I chase everybody down in Asheville. That's what we call a micro market. It works well. And to be honest with you, you had local and you had micro wholesaling, virtual wholesaling, and it still works. Now, here's the caveat on micro. Why would I do micro? Number one, maybe you lived in an area. Maybe you have a business partner in there. Maybe you know the local lay of the land there, meaning you understand values and stuff. All real estate is local. And if we know that, maybe you went to college there. I do a lot in Tampa. Why? I went to college there. I spent 2 years of my life there figuring it out. I know exactly what street is. I know which are the good neighborhoods. I know the bad neighborhoods. Maybe you grew up. Maybe you grew up in a town. That's a great micro virtual wholesaling market. Do you guys understand that? Usually you pick that market because you've seen data that shows it's going to be very good, and you did facts over feelings. The worst thing you can do is when you pick out a virtual market, go, I got a feeling it's going to be a really good market. Dude, if that's your business partner, run from them. Feeling's not going to make you money. It's going to give you a short-term hit, and it's going to be long-term pain. So decide if you want to do a micro market, that's fine. It takes about 3 months to really get into it. And you got to find, most people in a micro market are pulling big lists, and they're basically going to do cold calling, texting, and direct mail. One of those three or a combo of them. Love it. I love this strategy. It's all I knew. I used to pick out micro. I've ran as many as 6 markets at once. It is a lot. It is a lot of work. Every market is different. It's its own economy. It's its own environment, and all the comps are going to be different. And if you're working on that one, those work well. But guys, here's the biggest change I've seen in wholesaling. And I want you guys to kind of embrace this and accept it, because we do have a lot more competition in wholesaling. Here's the good news. Most of the competition sucks. They don't have the mindset. They don't understand the fundamentals of wholesaling, and most of them are speculating, and they're going for a yes on the first contract. So I want you to understand, even if you're competing with 12 other wholesalers in your market, usually 10 of them suck. They never get past like the initial bad contract written. So here's the biggest change I've seen. We call it macro national wholesaling. What the hell is Rick talking about? What did he put in his coffee tonight? Well, guys, this is simply is you're attacking the low-hanging fruit across the entire country. We only do it in the United States. Wait a minute. I can attack probates nationally. I can attack tax delinquencies nationally. I can go after foreclosures nationally. Yes, you can. Now, here's the beauty is you'll get more leads than you know what to do with, but you got to have a system, something like X Leads and AI to get through the combing of all the follow-ups on the leads. These all take time. There's no way around it. And by doing this, now you can find stuff with money in it. Here's the catch. The biggest caveat to doing this national wholesaling is you don't pick the market where you're at. It's tough for most people, even me. I'm not going to lie to you. So the only way I can make this strategy work, and I'm telling you, going into 2026, you should seriously consider this, is you have to buy it low, which you won't have a problem doing it, but you're going to have to sell it low and you're going to have to move it fast. Most likely, you're going to have to get a JV partner to help you dispo it. Why? Because by the time you learn the local market, you get a cash buyer, your contract's going to expire. So if I get with somebody with a probate, say in Des Moines, Iowa, I have no idea if it's going to stick. I need to find a buyer as fast as possible. How do I do that? I go find someone that wholesales in that area. I JV with them. Maybe I look at our school group. That'd be the first place I'd start. And I work my way backwards. Do you know in the school group, you get a little pin where all the members are, and you can find people that are locally in that market. Now, sometimes you get great partners, sometimes you don't. And that's a little bit of the luck of the draw. But doing this nationally, I get excited to think about all the types of leads you can pull nationally. Because before the advent of all the marketing stuff we do, X Leads, I couldn't do any of this, guys. It wasn't even fathomable. So here's the really cool part. I'm learning this with you because I'm an old timer. And Zach's really good with this. You guys have been Max. We have so many people behind the scenes. We have CTOs, we have coders, and we have such a massive think tank here, and we test everything out in our business. We throw it out there. Some of it works, some of it doesn't. But your biggest challenge using the strategy I have on your screen is dispo. So you're going to have to come up with a solid plan to dispo. The minute you get under contract, you should have a dispo partner ready to go. Split it with them 50-50. Don't do this 70-30, 80-20 game. You got to get it moved. And if you can do that, you can do national wholesaling, period. Does everybody understand that? I call it macro national wholesaling. Let's just call it national wholesaling. But Rick, how do I get all these leads? Let's go back through the leads. So if you do it local, micro, or macro, there's the only three markets you can really do in the United States. So we said earlier, 500 reverse driving for dollars. Do it. Why? Because it works. Why? Because you pique their curiosity with the note. And if you pique their curiosity with a note, you got a shot. If they don't call you back, you have zero shot. So I want them to call back. The next thing is, I would be remiss not to say you can't do SMS. 3,000 to 4,000 texts. You have to go through X Leads and you have to get A2P approved and get it set up. I know it's a pain in the butt. But here's the deal, guys. If you do this correctly and you take the time to go through your A2P, you are all set in there. Does everybody understand that? If you go through and take the time to do it, and you have to go through it inside of X Leads, no matter what account you have, if you put in the AI, not only do you go through the onboarding on Wednesdays when we teach you how to do A2P, if you set up a Zoom and ask for help setting up your A2P, we'll help you do it. We actually pay to do that. It cost us, I think, around $135 to do that. Why do I do it? Because I'm tired of you guys complaining about it. Now, it's not, I get it. Not everybody can do it by themselves. I probably flounder at it too. I had somebody set it up for me for full disclosure. So we have a process, but you got to go through the process, guys, because I'm paying for it. You have to schedule it. You got to book it, and then they'll help you get through it. And you have to do exactly what they tell you, or the onus is on you. Don't blame my customer service team. If we're going to do it and pay $135 to set it up, which takes a couple hours, you actually have to go. You might have to set up an LLC. You might have to set up a website and do everything. If you'll do that checklist, we guarantee to get you through that process. What other software is going to do that for you? I don't know. That could be a tough one. I can't figure out ones that'll do that. So 3,000 to 4,000 texts. So I'm going through a checklist of what you need to do on the playbook to be successful in wholesaling. If you guys would just take the right attitude and take each one of these literally as I'm telling you, text. How do I do that? Set it up with XLeads. We can automate a lot of the process. We can automate your answering the text. It used to be an absolute nightmare for someone in my business. Yeah, let me text you back. Your goal is to try to get them on the phone. Use AI to have an AI text conversation to get them on the phone for you. Next thing, cold calls. I'm going to put something on here. Yes, cold calls work. And you have to understand this. I've really changed my tune to overdoing cold calling yourself because it's a challenge. Now, if you're dead broke and you're going through freewholesaling.com and that's your only path, by God, suck it up and just start ripping through that phone to get rid of your excuses because you don't have any money. If you have some time, just rip through it. It's going to take you 10 times longer than the average person, but it's just like if you have to manually skip trace, it's the same thing. You're going to have to trade your time for money. And you know what? It is a great way to get enthusiastic and learn the art of wholesaling. So, but the reality, guys, cold calling, just so you know, is a big percentage how most wholesale leads are derived. In fact, me and Zach have basically gone through and showed you through pay per lead that a predominant amount of those are from cold calls, period. It's the only way to get inexpensive leads. So if you know that the most professional people that are selling you the same data for hundreds of bucks are getting it from cold call, what's your excuse? In fact, here's what you need to do. 2,000 to 3,000 cold calls in a month minimum. Now, that's if you're doing it yourself. The next one, I really don't want you doing it unless it's your only option. If you have to do it, that's it. But the advent of cold call centers, and specifically the ones me and Zach, you can go on our sites and figure this all out. We only endorse a few of them. Why? Because I've had some not follow the rules, and I do not put up with any of their shenanigans. So you guys know the changes I'm talking about. And a cold call center for $4.50 an hour with absolutely no setup fee. There are some have setup fees, some don't. You can have a professional company cold call your list. Now, why would I do that? Number one, maybe you have a full-time job. This is how this stuff was not even available to me when I started wholesaling. Not that I would have cold called, but I would have jumped all over this. Now, what's the average cost? On average, it's about $950 a month to get a full-time cold caller at $4.50. That includes the dialer, everything out the door, let's say under $1,000. On average, they should produce 1 to 2 leads a day for you. That's the cost of business. The idea is you use them, and once you get it going, well, Rick, why would I do this over PPL? Number one, it's your custom list. It's your custom cold caller. And number three, they're your own exclusive leads that nobody else gets. Now, a quality cold call center will assure they're not going to resell your data. So it's important to work with a US-based company that will give you that guarantee, because some of you guys go to these call centers and they're selling all their data to everybody else. And so that's the advantage. Why would I do that? I'm going to get bigger, fatter deals by doing that. End of story. So if you can afford to do the cold call center and you'll put time into it, it will pay off for you. And then the ones that really do well, they put in 2 cold callers. They go, Rick, that's like $2,000 a month. Listen, don't complain about $2,000 a month. It'll be about $1,800 when it's all said and done. Go try direct mail. On average, it's about $4,000 to $5,000 a month. But direct mail, they're my own private leads. I make the most profit of them. I love it. I get 5 to 6 times returns. The private cold call centers will give you a return on your investment. I guarantee you that. It is not a one and done. Let's get it done. Let's do it for a month and quit. If you will stick it out for at least 3 months, I'm telling you, you will do well. And for those of you that work in full-time jobs, this is how you buy your time back. So roughly $1,800 to have other people ripping through your list and calling, dynamite stuff. Make sure you get KPIs, hopefully on a daily basis, if not weekly. And make sure you are sending them the right lists. Make sure there's not duplicates or anything else on there, and give it the highest quality possible. Now, here's the key is, on average, do you guys know how many cold calls one cold caller can handle in a month? I want to see in the comments, because now I'm testing you on the playbook. Like if I'm going to go out and I only got I only got 1 minute left on the clock. How many plays can I realistically run before I get in the end zone? Maybe 5 or 6. That's it. So if I know I'm going to do cold calls, guys, if I outsource my cold calls, and by the way, if you're doing it manually, you're not going to get past 3,000 in 1 month. It's almost impossible. You will have to have a multi-line dialer. If you have like an Enzo, a 14-line dialer, you can do serious damage, but that's up to you. So if we understand that, how many cold calls can one full-time professional cold caller make on your account? So Rick says 25,000. Anybody else want to take a stab at it? I know this number because I help out my students all the time with this. Because if you don't know the numbers, you can't accomplish the goal of what you want to do. So Rick says 25,000. Anybody else want to take a stab at it? I already know the exact number. I should give out prizes to get more like guys. Okay, now I got to put it up there. Wait a minute. I got Tasha says 40,000. Philip says 5,000. See, Jason hits it on the head because Jason must be in my M2M program. It's about 10,000. Every now and then they can stretch it to 12,000. But on average, one cold caller, guys, 10K. So if you want to do some serious damage, you get results. If you multiply it by 2, you get 20K, and you wind up getting 3 to 6 leads per day. Now, add that up in a month. If you can't get deals off those hot leads, those are the best ones you can get. And it will work, guys. I'm telling you, this works. I have done this. Thanks, Jason. I appreciate it. You've got to understand, these cold call centers work. I only endorse a few. You can go check out all my information on it. I'm just telling you, it's amazing. 450, guys. Most of you are going to make at least $20 an hour. Just go get a little overtime and have them pay for it and get freedom back in your life. Most people who wind up doing cold calling themselves, they don't know how to ask the right questions. They don't know the script. They don't know how to do the KPIs, and they don't know what volume they need. And most cold callers will be the freelance ones you get on Upwork and stuff. They're just going to flat out lie to you. I've been through it. Most people quit after 90 days and they smoke through $5,000 to $10,000. I don't want you to be a victim of this. Use these cold call centers. It works really, really well. I'm telling you. Yes, you can write off your marketing costs. Of course you can. That's the whole point of it. So let's keep going back through this. So if I'm going to do that, let's go to the next one. So 2 to 3K on your own, 10K if you have a professional cold call center. And for those of you that really want to knock it out of the park, do 2, 1,800 a month. Do the math of how many leads that'll provide. And remember, you're not stepping over anyone's foot to get those leads. They're exclusive to you, and they usually have the highest profit. But we have other options. So unless you fell off planet Earth the other day, I want to let you know about another option on here. And let me put it up here. Where did I put it? So we're talking about our dollar lead. So basically, we have cracked the code on how to get you guys affordable leads. Listen, I love PPL. There's a lot of great companies out there. We're not attacking the super high quality leads. I believe you get those through cold call centers. Now, I know what you're going to say. They go, Rick, what about PPC? We're not there yet. PPC is wildly expensive. On average, just clicking on a sell your house fast in a market is $30. So I can't sell you PPC leads for $1 and it ain't ever going to happen. There's a cost to it. Don't worry. We're trying to reverse hack it now and figure it out. But you got to understand. By the way, this is recorded. If you guys missed something, you go back and you can go back and see it on there. So we have dollar leads. So you can simply do anywhere from 500 to 1,000 leads. I don't have to do math for you because it's $1. It's actually it's 97 cents, I believe. And I believe we're running a promo on it right now. Now, what are these leads? We call these warm leads. There's people that owned a property that at some point have expressed interest in selling. I want to go back to this and let you understand this. You go, wait a minute, Rick, those leads are going to be crap. Let me ask you, would you rather buy $1 lead with knowing somewhat vetted, or do you just want to blindly cold call on your own and rip through 10,000 leads? Because it's going to take you 3 to 4 months to get through that. Now, if we understand this one, I just go back and refer to this point I made earlier. If 75% of your deals come through follow-up, And most wholesalers suck really bad. And they're so eager to get a contract now that they won't do this follow-up process. Then why not just cut the lead, go get these leads that nobody else followed up and closed on. Yeah, they're going to cost you about $1 a lead, but guys, let me ask you this. If I got $1,000 leads, do you really think you can't get a deal off of that? In fact, um, I've called for 3 days doing it. Like we're buried in contracts on this stuff. Zach was on 3 hours the other day with Max. They walked away, I think, with 4 contracts. And guys, we did it randomly. Nobody front loads us. I don't do it like PPL companies do. Do you know most PPL companies that they'll give the influencers the leads and they stack the leads, very smoking hot leads, and they look like superstars on the internet. Listen, I think maybe this week we'll do it this Thursday. We'll go through, we'll cold call live and I'll let you pick the people to call. So I'm not making it up. Did you guys know that? Like, I know I'm probably like, I already got an X on my back. That's fine. I'm a big boy. I can take on anyone. Did you know PPL companies front load the best, highest quality, hottest leads to the influencers to increase sales? And did you know the influencers never pay these companies a dime? That's why they're so big on PPL. Now, I can't blame them. I can't blame them either. I've never done that. I have, yeah, and you can go check with any PPL provider. Every lead I've ever gotten, I've demanded to pay for because I don't want to be owned by anybody. I've never received one dime from a PPL company. And I just found out that dirty secret because I got text saying, do you want us to front load you the leads? I go, no, we don't do that. We don't play that game. You guys realize that, how crazy that is? Now, not all of them do it, but it is a known fact in the business. That's how the game's played. You ever wonder why, like, how did that person get 3 contracts, only made like 5 phone calls? That's not the norm. So what's the expectation on dollar leads? I would get 1,000. I'm just sorry. That's just the truth of it. Getting 100 of them is not going to work for you because these are leads that just need time to follow up. These leads are typically 3 to 6 months old. And yes, other people have contacted them. Now, when we sell them, we only sell them once. I'm not like a lot of these other platforms where they sell them off, but like I can't police the world. I can only police what we have. Now, I'm looking at your comments here. So the next one is, so the dollar leads are what we call warm leads. You're buying predisposed, vetted leads that had at some point expressed interest in selling. Now, here's the cool part is if 75% of all wholesale deals come from follow-up, think about this. What's happened? Time's gone by. No one's followed up with them. And you got all these follow-ups. This is why I constantly preach about X leads. And if you understand X leads, it is the automation that really makes you a ton of money because you figure out how to do these deals. How do I follow up with all these people? If I'm going to invest $500 or $1,000 in dollar leads, you guys, you are going by the seat of your pants without a CRM like X leads. You're going to create massive chaos. So let's go to the next one. If it was up to me, I would skip dollar leads, but like honestly, they work. They take more effort and it takes more quantity. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for anyone on that. That's just the truth of the matter. Now, if you want to step it up, we do another level we call diamond leads. Now, guys, keep in mind, most of you go on platforms and you pay between $30 and $300 for a lead. Here's the cool thing about the diamond leads. They're much fresher. They are 100% exclusive when we give them to you. I mean, nobody else buys that lead. And you get the MP3 with it. Oh my God. That sounds very familiar. That's been the play of all PPL. Now, don't get me wrong. We are not fully vetting the leads. We're not going into detail, everything like that. But here's the really cool part. We already run them through X leads. We verify they own properties. We have some automatic vetting, which saves you a ton of money. Now, guys, would you rather buy a lead at say $4 and have it run through automations like AI, like I tell you, like X leads, which we already own the company and we can provide that for free, provide you the phone number and everything. You get the MP3 file. We'll even show you on a map where the location's derived from, and we'll give you the MAO offer and we'll give you the ARV of the property. So guys, you have choices now. Keep in mind, I am not an elite lead provider. I am not going to be charging $300 to $500 for a lead. I think it's wasteful. I think it's a crime when these companies make you guys bid on it. And guys, here's the dirty fact with most PPL. The truth of the matter is, for them to give you the price models they do, they sell it at 3 to 5 times over. We promise you with the Diamond, it's exclusive. You get it once you're done, and you get the MP3 file. So we don't have a super sexy website, dollarleads.com. You can be the judge on it, but we're very transparent in everything we do. And it does take 10 to 14 days to onboard and do it because we're trying to get you the best leads humanly possible. And if you believe in me, Zach, and Max Deer understanding, we are committed to it. We all love PPL. We just think it's ridiculous for what you have to pay for it. So for the first time ever, we're going to give you direct access to do these leads and you can kill it. Now, 100 to 300 diamond leads, dude, you just make sure you know how to wholesale because you're going to be buried in contracts. I'm telling you, we have tested this out. It's absolutely amazing. There's no way to reverse engineer how we did this. Guys, I've got 23 years relationships in this business. I have partners like Max. I have partners like Zach that are wildly, wildly talented at talking wholesaling. They understand the technology on it. And we're not going anywhere. This is going to get so good. It's going to get ridiculous. We are in the infancy stages. So I can't guarantee the pricing forever, but I'm telling you, I'm giving you the playbook. This is exactly how I would do it. I'm not going to pay $200 and $300 for a lead. You guys can do it. I'm just telling you, why don't you do a little comparison? Why all of a sudden are everybody's PPL sites offering massive discounts? You can thank me, Zach, and Max for it. I did the same thing with coaching. I did the same thing with software. And why do you think PPL will be different? Listen, guys, PPL buys your time back. For the first time, you're actually going to be able to calculate an ROI. The reason why you don't get the ROI on the PPL, because it doesn't exist. Because it's like pulling a slot machine. You get 100 leads and you got to pay some sort of membership up front, which I'm not knocking it. That was the only system in town. So we set you up on a monthly subscription when you do this. Guys, I'm just telling you, if you decide to do a chargeback or anything on it, you're out of the system. We'll never, ever let you back in. So if that's your plan, go for it. You'll be knocked out. And I promise you, you'll never get back in. You're going to have like 100 different credit cards to do it. So I like this. I've literally given you every option moving into 2026, how I would do my wholesaling business. And I'm telling you, it's unbelievable what you can do with it. Guys, $1 a lead, you've got to be kidding me. And I got other people selling them $3, $5. And honestly, you guys thought the value was in that. We just did the right thing. I could have pocketed all the money, but we're giving it to you almost at cost. Do you understand that? Who else provides an MP3? And by the way, we don't send it to you email because I think you guys have figured out the email scam is basically you email and 400 people get the exact same email. That's problematic in our business, and I don't want that to happen to you. So Angela asked a great question here. Should I buy a number in every state? No. Don't do an 800 number. Don't do it. Like, honestly, you can have 4 or 5 numbers and you can rotate them and based on the area. I just think we're in a society where everybody takes their phone number with them because they have history with it and they have contacts. I don't think it's as big of a deal. Now, there are sites where you can do masking phone numbers. Oh my God, XLeads has that. You can buy a virtual phone number for $19.99 for the entire year, and it'll forward to your cell phone. Go try to buy that number anywhere else. You're paying $3 to $5 a month. That's 70% cheaper. So if you want to go that route, is it necessary? No. Is it helpful? Yes. But we need to know. If you almost says, if you have XLeads and A2P, your phone number would show your LLC name. That's the idea. So you need to have a name that doesn't say like Piranha Investments or anything like that. But when you go through A2P, they'll walk you through your options on it. And we'll figure it out. I appreciate it. Okay, let me see if I can answer any other questions here. So someone says here, what does some of the scripts sound like when you created the warm lead? So we're actually delivering a pack this week to kind of go over scripts. The beauty about the diamond leads, because you get to hear the MP3, you can hear their tonality, you can hear if they're old, if they're young, you can hear if they're excited, scared. And it's just such an easier bridge to get through it with that, because for the first time, you can just, like, I have real data. And the thing is, we let you listen to it. It is extremely different listening to an MP3 as opposed to looking at the transcript. Now, the transcript's good for AI analysis, which I don't have a problem with, but listening to people's tone, if it's an older person, young, tremendous. And go, listen, I know my partner spoke to you on, earlier about your house on Fifth Street, and I heard some of your concerns about the condition and how you're going to mow the lawn. I have some ideas. Do you have a moment if we speak to you? You got to make it really personal when you do these scripts. If you have the MP3, the Diamond, it's a game changer, guys. It changes everything. And guys, keep in mind, these are the same leads most of you guys are paying hundreds of dollars for. Do you have a subscription to get your leads? Ours is just a straight subscription. And the thing is, we put your most money towards the value of the leads, meaning you're not spending $100 or $500 a month just to use my platform. If you spend $500 with our diamond service, you get a whole plethora of leads. I don't have a fee cost setup. I don't now. I might have to, because you guys almost broke our system the other day. It's like crazy. I got everybody trying to hack me, doing all this stuff. Guys, I'm telling you, it is for real. And you have to understand how this works. You're going to have quantity in 2026. You're going to have AI. So what have I done? We've included X leads. We've done the dollar leads club. We have the diamond in there. We got warm and hot. Really, really straightforward. Let me answer some other questions here, because I know I got a little excited today. You don't have to wait for the A2P. You get it set up right away. So guys, it does take a little bit of a process. I saw James post about the A2 being set up. Keep in mind, we're paying for that as a gift to you. Why? Because it's the right thing to do. There's no other software that's $100 or less that will set up the A2P for you. Now, we're not going to do everything for you. You have to set up the LLC. You have to register all the stuff. They just walk you through the process and go through a checklist. And we're really, really good at it. And we spend a lot of time and energy doing that. So, guys, there is no customer service as robust as X Leads. In the beginning, we had to learn how to do it, but we have all the data. We have the entire staff. We have over 20 live agents that will handle your tickets. We go through AI because it's the most systematic, the most efficient way to answer questions. Then if it needs to get to a live agent, and then if it needs to go high level specialist for support, we do all that for you with that. So hopefully everybody understands with that. Let's see. Completely. Yeah. So, okay. Let me see here. So guys, I want to just reemphasize today again, real quick. Let me take this off here. This drives me nuts. Once again, if you are brand new to this channel, make sure you go over to freewholesaling.com. Almost all the links, everything I've talked a lot about. Guys, these cold call centers, man, it is a game changer, man. It's really, really cool what's going on. It's a big part of our business. We have switched all our cold calling over these centers. Why? They do it cheaper. They're more efficient. They have all the training. They provide the KPIs. Honestly, it is a godsend. $4.50, guys, go try and get it on your own for that price. It's almost impossible to get. And we give you choices. If you're people like this type of center, we have some higher end centers, and they're really good and people like them. People want to make sure that they have great, great service. So guys, make sure you're doing that. So I can't emphasize to you again, here's the biggest changes. You need a software like xleads.com. Why? Because all this data, it's going so much faster in the end of 2025 and 26. You have to have incredible follow-up systems. And why not utilize AI? It's that for what I do right now with X Leads, I would have had 5 employees back in 2003 to like 15. It replaces what 5 employees do. So if you don't want to do AI, I'm just telling you, you are going to get left behind or you're going to have to pay in a tremendous staffing cost. The next thing is we have to have that volume with it. And with our volumes, guys, basically we're churning up, we're using cold call centers if you can afford to do it. I already gave you all the free ways to do it. You know how to do it. Pair up your government list with a reverse driving for dollars, tax delinquencies, code violations, pre-foreclosures, all in freewholesaling.com. And guys, with Dollar Leads Club, why are we the only ones trying to help out the common wholesaler? Why does everyone try to rack you guys over the coals? Rake you over the coals, sorry. Now, I don't blame them because they haven't had competition before. And in my opinion, competition makes everybody better. And who wins the most from competition? You do. I want you guys to win. I make plenty of money wholesaling. I get more leads. I can do more JVs with you guys. It's super exciting to me. But charging you $200 and $300 for a leads and having you bid for it, those days are done. But honestly, if you think you can operate PPL, PPC, direct mail, cold calling centers, and SMS without a robust follow-up system that is fully based on AI integration like XLeads, which also handles all your marketing, all your skip tracing, all your e-signing, all your notes, all your comping, for $97, you got to be kidding me. There's nothing even close to it, guys. So listen, whatever method you decide to do there, make sure you get an account like XLeads so you can manage it. Because if you're spending thousands of dollars on any of these techniques, to spend $1,000 and not spend $97 to make sure your every lead's being accounted for, your gold is always going to be in the follow-up. It has never changed. That is the fundamentals of wholesaling. And if you know that, you have to stick to it. You have to be true to yourself and you have to make that work. So guys, listen, do me a favor. If you enjoyed today's live stream and you want to hear more about this, make sure you hit that subscribe button. The best compliment you can give to me. I do this out of the love of my heart. I love wholesaling. I've been in this business 23 years plus, soon to be 24. And I just want to give back. I love this business. I love everybody who watches this. Let's get our mind right. Let's get our marketing right. Let's get X leads. Let's go through some of these things like Dollar Leads Club, amazing things that we can do. But we got to make sure if we're working like 10,000 plus leads, we have to have a system to do the follow-up. You do that. How do you fail at wholesaling? It's up to you. Lose your excuses. Be accountable. Let's get this going, guys. I'll be on tomorrow, 5 p.m. on Flip with Rick. Join me on there. We'll have a lot of fun with that. I appreciate everybody. Guys, have a great one. Enjoyed it. And guys, listen, this one is the real deal. It's the change. The cold call centers, the AI, and the Dollar Leads Club. Guys, don't spend this big money on PPL. I just like you can, but we're giving you options because I think that's really, really expensive. And that's one of the main reasons I say with PPL. And I asked every one of them, make it lower and we'll see if we can do deals. I don't want your leads. I don't want your hot leads. I don't want to fake my crowd out. Give me your rawest ones. That's what me and Zach are. We're going through it. The other day we did 4 deals just on a live stream in 3 hours. Imagine what you could do with 500 or 1,000 leads. It'd be unbelievable. So check us out, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I appreciate every one of you.